I'm Florence Opondo, and I work for Laikipia University. I'm from the academia, and I'm here just to share with you what we've been working on since July. It's a program, a pilot program, of course, courtesy of Siani, who are the co-funders with Agripreneurship Alliance. And it's about how we can accelerate agripreneurship among the youth using a different approach, which is a competence-based or blended learning approach. Because many a times as teachers or lecturers, we teach students to pass exams. And what next after they have passed and they have their certificates? Can they implement the ideas that they learned? So our approach to teaching is more of theory-based, but not practical-based. And therefore, Agripreneurship Alliance, which is a Swiss-based organization, thought of this idea, and we are collaborating. We are actually 5 institutions that are participating in the pilot program. And just to begin, my presentation is a quote by Da Silva, Director General of FAO. And he said that a sustainable world can only be achieved with the full of engagement of young people. They must feel integrated and believe that a more peaceful and prosperous world is possible. So building the zero hunger generation requires building a new generation of farmers, businessmen, and businesswomen in Africa. And we were told that our farmers are about 62 years old. And you know, these people, they are not really energetic. They are wearing out. And yet we have the young, energetic people doing nothing. So how can we involve them in agriculture? And of course, a number of the statistics have been given. We know that Africa is a youthful continent. And majority of our young people are unemployed. And in Kenya, is about 60% of the youth are unemployed. And most of the times, these people, they go looking for jobs, you know, in farms, organizations, because they want to look smart in the morning when they go to work. They want to tell their friends that, you know, I am a banker earning 40,000 Kenya shillings at the end of the month. And yet, we have a number of opportunities that have not been exploited. And we know that agriculture is the backbone of our economy. And there are numerous opportunities. And sometimes when you talk about agriculture, people just think of a farmer who is worn out, who is sweating from morning to evening. And it doesn't really appear to be a nice thing. And that's what's normally how our youths react. And that is how I reacted when my sister mentioned to me that there is a course, agribusiness course. Why can't you think of it? And I was like, I don't want to be a farmer. Agriculture is a dirty job. I don't want to soil my hands. I want, you know, to be a banker in future. And by the way, I was a banker before I joined teaching. So, but I realized that, no, there is something in agriculture. And therefore, Agripreneurship Alliance was formed in August 2017 by Dr. Anne Rawlings, who is the president, and the CEO, who is Stephen Carr. They are based in Switzerland. And they came up with this non-profit organization after conducting a research. And they realized that there's a need in our society, especially amongst the youth. Because, for instance, in Kenya, we have the Youth Enterprise Fund. how many youths apply for the funds? How much money goes back to Treasury is unutilized? It is because our youths cannot present their ideas. When they are told to come up, because one of the requirements is to develop a business plan. They can be having very nice ideas, but if you tell the youth, can you just put it down maybe in writing so that we can perhaps consider it afterwards? They cannot articulate their ideas in a meaningful manner. And therefore, this organization felt that there is a gap. And they came up with this farm in order to promote and stimulate graduate-driven entrepreneurship in agriculture. They are actually targeting the youth, especially those who are in universities and colleges. And those are some of the aims of the farm or the organization, to support the young adults to become farmers of tomorrow. And it's not by chance, but it is through choice. And they also want to inspire young agripreneurs to establish food-based businesses. And I know some of you must be wondering, what is this agripreneurship all about? We know that agribusiness is business in agriculture, undertaking any business activity in agriculture. Agripreneurs, these are young people engaging the young men and women in business, of course, in agricultural related areas. And how can they come up with innovative ways of doing things so that agriculture can appear to be attractive, as the other speakers had mentioned, and of course contributing to the local and global food security. So this is a program that we have piloted. It just ended last week, and we were 5 institutions: University of Laikipia, Egerton University, Gulu University, Ayata, and SNV, Somaliland. And we plan to roll it out even to other places and partner with other institutions. So this is a blended learning approach, whereby Agripreneurship Alliance partnered with AMI, African Management Initiative, who developed an e-platform where our students or the participants interact. They go through the lessons online, they watch videos, they read through case studies, successful stories in agribusiness related areas. And when we meet during the classwork or during the training, I do more of the listening, and the students participate. It is actually a participatory approach, such that at the end of the day, they are indulged in the activities. And by doing that, they can be able to develop or come up with business plans. So in brief, that is what the program was all about. So the course included about 10 sessions, and it ran between 10 to 14 weeks. And every meeting or session, we took about 3 hours. And since it was engaging, sometimes it could even take 4 hours. So it is a paradigm shift from how we normally teach our students. And I mentioned that we teach our students to pass exams, just to understand the flow of the business plan. But if you tell them, can you now document the ideas, they cannot do that. And we help them identify some of the problems within the society, because these opportunities emanate from the problems that we experience and the challenges. So the students were able to identify some of the challenges that they experience in the society. And they were able to come up with possible solutions. And of course, these activities are along the agricultural value chain. And when you talk about agricultural value chain, there are numerous activities. You don't necessarily have to be a farmer. You can be an input provider. Let's take a good example of Jamil. Is it Jamil Abbas? Jamila Abbas. She was a software engineer, but then she identified a problem amongst the smallholder farmers. They lacked information. They experienced problems of accessing information. So this lady with her friends, they developed a platform whereby they gathered information and they informed farmers on different information. And also just to challenge you, what do you normally do with the leftovers after eating? You've eaten fish. And then what next? What do you do with the bones? Is there a business opportunity? Yes. So those are some of the things that we are talking about. And we have talked about the SDGs, and I know that, Siani, you are passionate about zero hunger. And also Agripreneurship Alliance, this program addresses these 4 SDGs. And in our program, by the way, it is 50-50, the number of women to men. So that is one of the requirements. And as the other presenter mentioned, you cannot have a decent, work, or we cannot have a developed economy if you don't have money. And from those photos, those are some of the students that we were taking through the trainings. And I mentioned that this was a participatory approach. We were involved in discussions, group works, we analyzed cases and studies, we watched videos of successful stories. And at the end of the day, the students developed business plans in groups. And these plans were forwarded to a panel of judges. And you can see that photo where we were really excited and happy. This was last week when Steve Carr, the CEO of Agripreneurship Alliance, was in Laikipia University to award the students the participant certificate and also to award the best business plan. They were given 1,000 USD as a seed money to implement their ideas. So the students develop good plans, but then does it end at that point? We need to pick up these business plans. We need to support them so that they can implement their ideas at the end of the day. And you can see all of them were excited, irrespective of whether they won or not. Is there anybody who is not happy?
They're all happy.
It appears as if all of them had won. But then there was only one winner. So this is the approach that we want to roll out even to other institutions in other areas. The approach of building or developing a business plan. And it's not just developing. You can have a good business plan. But when you are invited by potential funders like you to present the business idea, where do you begin? How do you go about it? So it is not just about developing the plan, but we also take them through the presentations. And believe me not, the presentations were awesome. I was shocked. My students did great presentations. Thank you very much.